I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video we will understand one-side limits for floor or greatest integer function. I do have a video on floor or greatest integer function in case you have some difficulties understanding what really the function is. You can go through that video, right? Given f of x equals to greatest integer function, that is one way of representing it. The other way is we could also write this as a floor function, which is kind of like this. Do you see that? Like this, right? At times you may also see this symbol for the greatest integer function, but all represents the same thing, greatest integer function or the floor function, right? Here we have the definition of this function. If n is an integer such that x is greater than equal to n, less than n plus 1, then greatest integer function x is equal to n, the lower value, right? Here this is a closed circle, right? This interval here, in interval we have this greater than equal to, that means this is a closed circle from n, and that one is open circle. So less than, so make a note of this also in the definition. These are very technical and critical points from test point of view. So have a good look at it, right? Understand. Okay. Now first part is sketch the graph of the function. So here is a rough sketch of the function, right? So it says if my value is between 0 to 1, then the value for the greatest integer function will be 0. So this is closed end and then there's an open end here. However, if my integer value is from 1 to 2, then 1 is included, that means a closed end, and 2 is an open end. So it's kind of a step function. Do you see that? So it is a step function which goes like this, right? That is on the positive side, and similar pattern is followed here when we have x values as negative, correct? So we have the same pattern. So that is how you can sketch it, and therefore it gets another name. So we have floor function, greatest integer function, and also step function, right? So these are three popular names for this function. Now in this case, let me label it. So we have 1, 2, 3 on the x-axis, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. And on the y-axis, we have 1, 2, right? And so on. Minus 1, minus 2. So that is a sketch of your greatest integer function. So here's a quick reminder. If you want to know more about it, look into my video which just explains greatest integer function with few examples. Now let's talk about limits. First one is determine the limit of this greatest integer function as x approaches minus 2 from the positive side, right side. So since we are talking about minus 2, let me extend this graph, right? So we have here for 3 also, correct? Okay. So let me just extend it. So when you are approaching minus 2 from the right side, plus here means from the right side, you are approaching a value which is minus 2. So the value here is minus 2. Clear, right? So you are approaching minus 2 from the right side. So that means you are approaching minus 2 from the right side. So what do you hit? You hit here, right? And you get to minus 2. Perfect. The second part of this equation is, which is part C, the limit of function when x approaches minus 2 from the left side, which is 2 to the power of minus 1. So when you approach from the left side, that means where do you get to? You get to this point, which is minus 3, right? So this is minus 3. So our answer is minus 3 for part C, right? So it is minus 3. Let me clearly write minus 3 here. Now the last part, as we have in this format, is what is the limit of this function as x approaches minus 2? So when you are approaching minus 2 from the right side, the limit is minus 2. But when you are approaching minus 2 from the left side, it is minus 3. So we find these limits are not the same. So this limit does not exist. Reason is that limit of this function as x approaches minus 2 from the left side is not equal to limit of the function as x approaches minus 2 from the right side, correct? Since these two limits are different, it does not exist, right? And you can see what kind of discontinuity it is. It is indeed a jump discontinuity, right? Sometimes that is also part of your question, right? Find the type of discontinuity. So it is a jump discontinuity, correct? I hope with this you understand what greatest integer function is and how we can find one side limit for this particular function, correct? So I'm Anil Kumar. You can subscribe to my videos and learn a lot. I hope that helps. Thank you and all the best.